I
It's
just
dope.
searched for it. But it's dope. I could just go on fucking Google and type in High Sunday. How crazy is that to even think about that? You could just Google High Sunday and then all
That's
this shit
crazy.
comes up, all these images come up, all these videos come up, and I was like, damn, man, like imagine like before you ever started doing this shit, that like, am I gonna be Googleable fucking one day? You know what I mean? And you definitely are now. 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all walks of life, all colors, shapes, sizes, and beliefs, welcome to Studio Steve. I am your host, Steven Samuel, and today I have a very special episode for you. Some people are the jack of all trades and masters of none. I think I fit that mold myself, but this brother that I have on today is like the ace of spades of all trades and the master of so many. This list that I'm about to read out doesn't capture everything, but it's a damn good start. He's a producer. He's a beat maker. He's a sound engineer. He mixes and masters music. He's an MC. He's your rapper's favorite rapper. He's a musician. He plays guitar. He plays drums. He plays in bands. He's a solo artist himself. He runs the Instagram platform, The Barkeepers, which is a weekly rap contest with a worldwide community of creatives. And he's the host of Sunday on Sundays, which airs every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch. And he also appeared in the 2022 film Beyond the Neon, streaming on Amazon Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Hi, Sunday.
Yo, thank you. That was awesome, man. I even get I always screw up the list. Yeah, that was thorough. That was dope. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, it's crazy, man, because like just even going on your Instagram page, you're always doing something. Like you're never not doing anything. I'm just like, this guy's playing with a band over here this week, and then he's rapping over here this week, and then he's doing something else over here. You're just everywhere, man. Like you just constantly. We were just talking about this off air, but like you're just always on to the next thing. Like how much do you ever take time to sit and reflect, or are you just moving forward all the time?
I probably should more often. Like I probably should take more time to sit, but while it all is kind of like work for me, it's also like it's my place of peace too. Like that's like if I'm not making music, like if I'm performing or if I'm doing producing a podcast over here or something like that, like I don't know, that's all just like a nice place for me to be. So I don't ever really feel like yeah, like oh how do you not when do you take a break? It's like I don't know. I'll take a break from doing this and do this other dope stuff that I like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you. Actually, you almost say exactly that. I think it's on the intro of "Isn't Everything Amazing?" Like you literally say something very similar to what you just said. It was about like I'm always thinking about this next dope shit that I'm working on, because it isn't everything amazing, as you say at the start of the song. It's an observation. It's not a question. And so you're just kind of reflecting in that song, man. So like, was that what was the? I want to ask that, man, because like actually I went through, I listened to the album a bunch of times. Let me just say, man, I like before I even press play on the album, I was expecting, just from what I know of you with Barkeepers as an MC, I'm like looking forward to like this hip hop album. The album starts off with Gumbo, and Gumbo should be like that is like a telling title of what that album is sonically and musically like. I was so amazed, dude, at the variety of music, the composition, the way you put things together. It's fucking crazy, man. Like the vocal layering on songs, like so. Like my question, I guess, man. Like listening to that album, like what was there something for you at this stage in your like musical artist career that said to yourself, like, I need to make this album, like I need to put these people on, I need these sounds to be in there? Like is this like, are you at a point in your life, because I felt like it was a real reflection of like positivity and just like growth?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's everything. I mean, it's my first full length album, I guess, from like 4 years or whatever, or 3.5 years, because
Damn.
my last full length was a thing called Fallen Trees Project,
Mm.
And that one was like a direct response to the world ending, you know, and everything that was
Oh
going
shit.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't, and I feel like it's like my most selfish batch of work, but I'm like, what the fuck? We were all locked up and alone, and so it feels like very like journal, just like straight, just kind of feelings, and I wasn't very like careful about it, which I think is dope. It feels raw to me, and it'll always remind me of, you know, it'll always be that. But
Mm.
and then after coming back from the world ending, I thought that everyone would be, I don't know, would like miss each other and like love each other harder and like be more empathetic to like people, because everyone shared something together.
Mm.
Everyone shared a devastation together, right? Like you couldn't deny that, no matter, even though somehow they figured out a way to make it political and be like, do you believe in this or not this or whatever, whatever. But you couldn't deny the fact that it was a collective devastation. Everyone. And so, you know, I thought we'd come back with like this kind of fresh energy and this fresh love, and then quickly realized that it wasn't, you know. And so I was like, all right, I gotta cook an album. And I wanted the album to be, so this was like maybe 2 whole years before this album officially dropped, you know.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was gonna call it the end of the beginning, you
Mm.
know. And I don't
Mm.
know, it was just kind of like I wanted it to, the last thing I did was that, and I kind of wanted to be this kind of reset, and I wanted everyone to feel like reset or whatever, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
let's get back together or whatever. Um, and then, you know, as the year or so passed, and things were just devastating, yo. Like I think I lost a homie, a couple of my people I know lost homies. Like
Mhm.
things were just like in general, just upset. And then obviously, you know, the election was coming
Shit.
later in the year last year or whatever. So, but I'm talking about early at the beginning of the year, there was still this kind of like dread. I was
Mm.
selling loose leaf tea with this company that I co-create with called Kitefin Teas,
Hmm.
and I'm selling it at like farmers markets and stuff like that. And then so like it's really a thing that like allows you to be grounded and like talk to people, you know.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
stopped because of what I'm about to say, but like, yo, gradually from that January, February, March, like you just kind of start to see people get like more depressed and like stop coming out and stuff like that to things like that, because like things got real sketchy and real, you know. So my entire motive changed for everything. And I was like, yo, I just want people to feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like F it. So I kind of threw out everything I had besides gumbo. Gumbo was something, no matter what, I wanted to have that kind of thing, kind of be like, yo, whatever. So that was gonna be part of the whole reset, end of the beginning thing. But I just wanted people to feel good, bro. And then as the album, the kind of this new iteration of it came to,
Mm.
and then I was like, all right, I could probably drop this towards the end of the year ish or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, I don't know if you remember seeing, but like the ELO thing happened at the beginning of December or
Yeah,
something like
shit.
that, like the beginning of Christmas season. And it was like, F it, we'll try, we'll do whatever we can to help, even though like it may not be great, because I understand Christmas and all this stuff is
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up. And then it went nuts, like to see the support and the barkeepers show up and
Mhm.
show out for that. Like I was like, yeah, like this is time, like this is the vibes. Everyone
Yeah,
needs to feel, bottle this, like everyone needs to feel good, feel supported, feel like us. I wanted this album to feel like us, because my last thing was so me, you
mm.
know. I and that's it, bro. And then so I was like, it went perfect. We'll drop it New Year's, bong. Start the year off, everybody feel great, and then 3 days later, LA burned down or whatever. But
Shit.
but hopefully, you know, it gave people something to kind of vibe to, even though we were pretty devastated out here. But
Yeah, man. Yeah,
well,
it's
that was a
crazy.
lot. Sorry.
No, man, that's all good. Like, it's what's crazy to me is there's a phrase that came out of COVID that never existed in our lifetime, which was "I'm peopled out." And I hear people say this all the time. Like my coworkers always tell me, "It's like, oh man, I got to go socialize. I'm gonna be so peopled out. I'm gonna be so tired." And it trips me out because it was like prior to this, we find energy being around other people. You get motivated, you get inspired, you fucking laugh, you hang out, you know what I'm saying? Like you
No.
share experiences. And then all of a sudden, you bottle people up a little bit. Not a little bit. I mean, we got boxed the fuck in for a few years. And
Fully,
all
yeah.
of a sudden, everyone is finding ways to create division and finding ways to be solitary. And it's like, dude, this is the exact fucking opposite of what humans need for communication,
Yes.
for growth, for love, for laughter, for all of it. It was crazy. Like that whole idea of I don't want to be around people because they're taking too much from me. No, I get people got boundaries and shit, and people have like some people are not extrovert, some people are introvert and they don't like that. Well, if that's your style, then stay in the fucking house and protect yourself in that way. But like when you're with people, take advantage of the time, because if we had to all of a sudden tomorrow wake up and everyone had to be fucking boxed in again, I could tell you the first thing people would say is, I miss being around other people. I miss seeing other people.
Of course, of course. Like we gotta remember. I'm like really, dog. Like some people don't remember that feeling, and it was just, well, now it's like 5 years ago, but you can never forget that, bro. I was like, I'm gonna love people so hard. Like, don't ever let the, yeah, I mean, like, I love seeing the cashier person and like the what
Yeah.
everyone now, like, yo, like, I don't know. I didn't think I would feel crazy feeling this way after we all did that together, but
Yeah,
I
man.
feel
It was a
like, yeah,
bug out.
that's,
Even just having your mask, like you can't see somebody smile. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We were just like fucking. I don't even want to say robots. I felt like prisoners, man. Like I felt like a prisoner that had freedoms to still go out, but it was like I just looking at people, and I would look at everyone in their eye. I kind of have a habit of doing that, and every time I look at, I'm just like, I don't know if you're smiling. I don't know if you're upset.
I
I don't know what the
know,
fuck. You know what I mean? Like it was a
I
bug out, man. I did not like
know.
that shit, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like I found some cases too where like when I'm with the homies, but we're still somewhere where we had to be like masked, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't see your reaction. I can't see if you're smart. So then I found myself getting a lot more like touchy, like
Yeah.
making sure that you know that this is a warm conversation or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, which kind of defeats the point. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like touching people now because I can't see if you smiling or not, and I need us to be on the
Yeah.
same page or whatever, you know. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, that's interesting.
I wanted to ask you, you were just talking about Gumbo and that how that was like an answer to, you know, for lack of a better word, like how depressing times were, and just like that song has so much great bounce to it. Um, in that song, so I'm looking at the people on the record, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
wild. This is gonna be like some crazy fucking scenario, Tribe Called Quest shit, where all these guys are gonna jump on and drop all these verses. But I only hear one verse outside of you, and so I was just like, where the fuck is everybody? Like I can hear everybody else's voices like on the choruses and stuff. And I wanted to ask, like, is that the extent of everyone's contributions to that song, or did people musically add to the song?
Oh nah, nah. Honestly, that was a last minute audible. The thing that I think everything was done. I think everything was done for album wise. And what was I doing? I think I sneak peeked Gumbo or something a month out or some shit. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I
just to
remember
kind
that.
of, I was doing some weird little teasers and stuff. You know, I teased, I think, a couple other things too. But I think while I was doing that, literally on camera, I think I realized like I could just ask the chat and see if like everyone wants to party with me on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
otherwise, I had it. I yanked all of my layers off of it, but it was like 7 of me. You know,
damn,
doing the kind of making the
yeah,
party.
yeah,
You know, kind of vibes. But I'm like, I literally was listening to it, teasing it on this show, and then looking that I have a room full of friends, you know what I mean? And be like, yo, why don't we do that? So that, yeah, that was just one of those things. And I knew that a bunch of our folks who would be in the room right there would have a mic and stuff. I knew that I wasn't gonna go and like publicly on my Instagram like say it out,
Yeah, yeah,
because then I will get caught in this thing of people being like, please, but then they're late or they got to figure
yeah,
out. And I'm like,
exactly.
none of this is supposed to be stressful, but I'll ask the
Yeah.
room right now, you know, and that's all that was. So that's pretty much chat room of that night. Everyone who's featured on that song.
That's crazy. You know
Basically.
what's so
Yeah.
crazy, man? Even just listening to the, I don't know how you did this, man, but the layering, I can hear every single person's voice, but they're not overlapping each other. They're not muddled. So I was just like, did you pan that shit? Like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, I was tripped every time I listened to it.
That was very important to me, man. That was very important. Um, none of it's really I think if there's any, there might be a little bit of panning and stuff, but most of it's frequency shit. Like
Damn.
I got all of their stems, obviously, you know, and individually just mapped them out and found out
Mm.
where fat frequent. Everyone has a different tone of
Yeah,
voice,
yeah.
you know, and everyone kind of sits. And you know, if it's a little too close, I nudge someone to kind of make them, and you just kind of Tetris that thing together, man. Like I enjoy that part, you know. I've done it a lot with our online friends.
Yeah, yeah.
A bunch of just remote, you know, remote having to figure out different people's microphones, different people's acoustics, all of
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Is this like a self-taught skill? Did you go to school for this shit? Like, how do you know this shit?
Nah, definitely no school. Um First intro to like kind of um pro audio type and recording type is, I won't put them on blast, but I'm like 15 and it's our weed guy, you know, and we would go over there to grab weed, but him and the other homie who's also very prominent now or whatever, I'll leave him out because I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
15 as hell. Yeah, but we would go there and they would always be like kind of cooking beats, so we'd hang out, you know, as one does. We'd hang out and just maybe and blow a few and kind of, and then after a while, me and the homie who would go over there to pick up, we'd pull up with flows and stuff, and then
oh
we
yeah,
start
dope.
flowing to that shit, and they would like record us and stuff, bucking around. I'm talking about when I'm 15, we were recording on ADAT tapes,
Oh
so
shit.
Dinosaur, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he had the whole like to the ceiling, the rack when you needed actual hardware for your
Oh shit.
studio and stuff. And we would see him slowly building it with the money he was accruing
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
it was kind of a cool deal, but it was just sitting around watching the big homies do that. And then the one homie taught me like, this is Reason and this is
Mm,
Fruit Loops at the early, probably the number one,
yeah.
the first version or whatever. And yeah, and then of course like the next summer, I think I went off. Or no, he went off somewhere and came back, and he came back and sold all of that. Had one Mac computer. He's like,
Oh,
bro, it's all in here now. So it's kind of funny to see, you know, the progression of all that. But yeah, what was the question?
like how did
How did it start?
like how did you get this skill set of like mixing
Oh
and
yeah,
mastering? Like, is it practice or what?
yeah, yeah. That's it. So that was the first inspiration to be like, oh, I guess I could do this at the crib. But so I'm like 15. I graduated 17 and went to college. I was through 15 and 17. I was in a punk band and we were
Shit. Okay.
gigging and stuff. All of the, you know, Haggard Numbskull, shout out, who is now my partner in Lenny and Carl. 20 years
Oh shit.
later, like
Okay.
we're
Crazy.
in the crew together. But I was doing that and then graduated and went off to college and thought that somehow that the band would be able to, you know, I'm like 2.5 hours away or something. It did not work. So I'm sitting at home. I tried out for a couple Craigslist like or Facebook or MySpace bands or what, like a couple of the local bands. I was like, this ain't it. And then so I found myself at home just jamming on guitar and stuff. And I was like, let me record guitar or whatever. I remember when Homeboy used to teach us how to record stuff into a DAW, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I think I found Cool Edit Pro for free. And
Oh shit! I used to have Cool Edit.
yeah, yeah. And then started recording guitar, and then I had a keyboard that had little drum noises. I started recording drums, and you know, probably a year later, I'm selling beats at UCSB. So I really started. Yeah, I really got into it for a second. Yeah.
Damn, man. How did you even get started with music? Like you're talking about, you're in a punk band that early, so you must have been playing guitar pretty early too.
Yeah. Then I got my first at 8. My 8-year-old birthday or Christmas, rather it was. Um, just because I used to. My mom used to sell Avon to this lady, and like her son was kind of like the big homie, and he got one. I thought it was badass, so
Yeah.
I was inspired early or whatever. And then like 12 or something, I was in like an old man blues band, you know,
Damn.
like playing like Jimmy and Stevie riffs and stuff.
Oh,
And
shit.
then yeah, and then in high school, I was in the high school jazz band, which we were also the band that played for all of like the musicals and stuff. So that was kind of cool, like genre wise. But I was also in our little garage punk band, Haggard
Crazy.
Numbskulls, that got pretty legit. Like we were out getting paid towards the end of our high school days. It's so crazy to think back and to look at those notebooks and be like, this is what teenage angst looks like. But um yeah, and while I was in that punk band, I tell this shit all the time, but while I was in the punk band, I mean, at lunchtimes, I'm going to the basketball courts because that's where they kick freestyles. And
Oh
so
shit.
the homie Radio would be on freestyle, or the homie Jason Mendoza. But I'm talking about, I look over here and a guy you may know by the name of Blue and Exile would be rapping every day. Then
Damn.
you see a little dude pull up and start singing. Everyone be like, man, get the fuck out of here, by the name of Miguel. You know what I
Oh
mean? Like
shit.
it was like serious, like literally at lunchtime on the basketball courts, there would be days when Blue and Miguel were right there. Two of the
Damn.
top 50 greatest artists of all time of their genres. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like,
It's crazy.
so yeah, I mean, it was a cool situation, and I always loved, kicking flows and shit like that too. While I was in a punk band, and yeah, went
Did
to
one
college,
come before?
started making
Did
beats.
one come before the other, like hip hop before punk, or were you just like introduced to both at the same time and just kind of fuck with both of them?
Nah, I didn't. I was taught punk rock. It
Yeah.
wasn't as
Okay.
natural. Like I grew up on hip hop and like Ice Cube cassette tapes and
Yeah.
and shit like that from like the homies as older brothers and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't have any siblings, but everything's from the homies older brothers and siblings and shit. But yeah, so I was hip hop, and then yeah, probably 7th grade or something like that. Sixth, seventh grade, I get me and the homies get invited by one of the homies' bigger brothers to a high school party,
Oh
and
shit.
that's
Like
where
a house party.
they're having live punk bands and shit, and it's
Oh,
mosh pits and keg stands and
oh shit.
naked chicks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking crazy, and it was an energy that I never experienced in real life. I've heard like punk songs or whatever, but I just never thought anything too much of it. I'll
Yeah.
jam some, because I played guitar, but it was never the most appealing to me. But I felt that energy, and then probably that summer is when CD burners
Oh
was out.
shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the homie was like, I'm gonna set you up with the punk rock like encyclopedia, and he
Yeah.
started burning me a bunch of a bunch of punk rock CDs, and he put me on game, and I realized that the message or motive or even the creation about it is hip hop. It's
Totally.
hip hop in a different cloth. So no, it's no wonder that I really could find myself in both of those genres for sure.
Yeah, it is crazy, man, because hip hop and punk have like this parallel. evolution, like even going back to like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So like
Yes.
when you say that, like, yeah, like the message, it's like this, it's counterculture, it's anti-establishment, you know what I mean? And it's
Yep.
fucking saying the quiet thing out loud, really fucking loud, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
all in your face. And so hip hop and punk kind of do that same thing. And there's like even, and I felt like there is, what song is it? I got it written down here off the album. I think it's, Darkwing. Like I felt like Darkwing had this really
Oh
fucking
yeah.
edgy guitar, like distorted guitar on it, and I was just like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
like that." And I literally wrote down immediately, "I mean, this is so punky and edgy," but it has like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this melodic feel to it too. It's just like, damn, like this is like almost kind of like not as a comparison, but just as I'm saying it out loud, how like System of a Down is really fucking edgy and really like really hard, but at the same time they've got these like melodies, and you're just like, "Yo, how did you do that? How did you blend that shit?" And like, and I feel like
Yeah.
that song, everything you're saying, it seems like that song was kind of this like amalgamation of both of those parts of your brain.
100%. 100% that is. It's punk. The I think the first thing after I finished that beat, the first idea was, I want punk chants. I want whoa. Like I didn't even know what the fuck it was gonna be, but I knew I wanted the whoas in there, you know. And yeah, and then so this beat was around before the conception of this album,
Oh
but
shit.
so it's an album where I want everyone to feel, just that makes everyone feel good, right?
Mm.
But there's a ounce of me that also knows that like some people, like the motivation or get into action or the kind of the fight back is what makes them feel good,
Yeah.
you know. And like I caught a lot of that from kind of what people told me about my previous album and all that. So I was like, I got to get a little bit of that sauce in there. And so it's kind of a, you know, it's the one that I feel like is a little bit out of the energy of the rest of everything, but I think that it got a lot of people to feel like whatever, motivated or pumped up or whatever. And yeah, it's sat blank for a while with just me on it. And then yeah, one day I was just like, one day I heard somebody talking shit about TMR. And I won't mention who, because it's one of our barkeepers
Yeah.
family or whatever. We're just talking shit. And I just didn't think it's fair, man. I don't know. You don't have to agree, but try to understand. If you don't smoke weed about it, try not to be so angry. I mean, TMR from the first, I think I met him because of DQR back in the day, but I think we were on the same project or something. And so we were promoting together. And I just realized like he's a super cool dude. And then I ended up talking to him. It's the coolest dude ever. And an actual veteran, you know, he has dope stories. He's willing to talk about it and all kind of cool shit. Now, maybe he thinks differently about a couple of different political whatevers. I don't care. I don't care. He's a great guy, and I've gotten to know him as a bro. And as soon as someone so and so was up there talking this shit, I was like, I'm throwing him I'm gonna ask him if he'll be on this shit. I got the perfect shit for him. This feels kind of like Guns Up, you know, kind of let's go. And I know TMR could kill that. And then he did it. He wrote it, and he hit me back, and he was like, "Bro, like, I kept it like as neutral as I could because I know I didn't want to rub none of your fans the wrong way." And I was like, "Bro, I was ready for you to go as wherever you needed to go because this thing was all proven that like I accepted this on my album. You know what I mean? Like, I knew he wouldn't get like offensive, but I thought he might go somewhere." But he was like, I just kept it like personal, whatever, what you heard him do. And I was like, dog, he was mad respectful about it. And he was big with the promo. He joined me on live to promote the album and stuff. So Darkwing was quite the treasure.
Yeah, he's dope. I came across him through DQ's music when I first got onto Barkeepers, and then they had a bunch of tracks together, and I was like, damn, these guys, because they both come from that military background.
That's
and so
right.
they do talk a lot of like, and even DQ, man, he is so like vulnerable on the mic, which is like when even when thinking about your album, like you're talking about how Darkwing might be a little bit outside of the lane of like, you know, this positivity or whatever the energy of the album. But I think that there's so many sounds on this album that I think that it's not, you can't just make one broad brush stroke and be like, everyone's going to fuck with this one particular sound. Like you have the variety of sounds that I think matches what a population is. Like a population is all those diversities. It is edgy. It is fucking ska and reggae. It is hip hop. It is like, what's the other track? Just Keep Swimming. I was like, what the fuck is like a folksy and bluesy all of a sudden? I was just like,
I tried to sing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so good. I wrote this down. I don't know if this will make sense, but I said that on that record, it was like there's various styles with technically different deliveries. And like it was just like there's so much in this album is just like this big ass sandwich with just like a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? When you go to some of those delis and you just got like, how am I gonna fucking eat this, man? It's one of those where it's just like, God damn, there's so much here. But if you were to like peel all those layers, starting with the bread until you get to the last piece of bread, you're just like, holy shit, what? Like I didn't know they put all this in here. It is worth the $6.99 sandwich. It was like, yeah, man, it was fucking, it's dope, man. It's super hella dope, man.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. I wanted it to be an experience, not to sound cliche or whatever.
No,
I didn't want it to sound like a song and another song, and I'm feeding you songs. Like everyone feeds everyone songs. I wanted it to be this kind of experience or whatever. And stuff like Just Keep Swimming or all the way like I wanted there to be like certain rewards also for sticking through, like sticking through me singing for like however long, 90 seconds on some slow shit. Like as long as you could sit and vibe with this piano for long enough, we're going to get to some shit where I start doing like a spoken word verse. And hopefully that'll captivate you long enough to the beat change and we get to some hip hop, some motherfucker, you know what I mean? I'll be doing jumping jacks in quicksand. Like I want it to all feel like, holy shit, I made it through that thing. And by the end, it's just like, I'll be doing jumping jacks in quicksand. And, you know, I'm pumped, I'm stoked by the end. Or All the Way. Like I know a lot of people will turn it, but if you stick through it and vibe with me, there's a pretty crazy rap verse in that thing, you know. Pretty crazy breakdown.
Crazy.
That's all. I just I want it to be an experience, and I want it to be us. You know, I definitely didn't want it. I definitely wasn't doing weird shit for me or to impress me. I just try to feel like what would be a cool experience and make people feel cool, you know, and not be so stressful of a listen and all of that. Yeah. It's crazy times right now.
Yeah. It's dope, man. And I even wrote that down. I was like, there's some poetic shit on here and there's some MC shit on here. There's just like, and they're singing. There's so much on it. But I think just that variety of sound, there's no listening fatigue listening to this album. Like, you know, if it's like the same thing over and over, then it's kind of like, I can't even differentiate. And you know what, man, a lot of music now too is like that, where it's like I can't even differentiate song 1 from 2 from 3 from 4. Like all the shit, all the drums sound the same, all the hi-hats sound the same, but like this is different instrumentation, different composition on every song, different voices. And I thought that was really interesting. Like the people, what's the other, Flicky Bicky, man, like that shit was like, I felt like in the beginning it's like fucking I'm at like a ska fest or something, and I'm chilling and I'm jamming with a nice cold drink in my hand, and all of a sudden Mooney Red comes and he's just got like this his like soundscape, you know what I mean? Like it just takes up so much like of your airspace. Like I'm just like it's kind of like how a Melly Mel might jump on the mic and you're just like, holy fuck, like this guy just took up the whole room. Like his sound is so big, and then I'm just listening, I'm jamming, and I'm just like, oh shit, like what the fuck is this? Like it was
nigga, pass the boat so I could catch a vibe in this bitch. Yes, immediately. Yes, that's important to me. That's an experience. That's not just the homie featuring, you know.
Yeah.
When it shows up, it's an experience, dog. Yes.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, so how intentional was that for you to pick certain people and certain voices for this album?
Very intentional. At first, I was only gonna do features, like literally only people who's out here local to me, so I could do them at shows with folks or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that's kind of how the Flicky and Isn't Everything Amazing came up with
Mhm.
Mars and Mooney, because
Yeah,
I rock all my shows with those guys anyways, you know. And
yeah, yeah.
so um and Mars is an absolute monster, and I haven't given him. He's put me on a couple of his bangers, and I haven't given him a true. So I gave him the title song. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna go up with this one, but with Mooney, that was it. I just knew that I see that at a show. A lot of this album too is like, a lot of it is how I'm about to do it on the show.
Mm,
Like, that's in
mhm,
my head a lot, because
mhm.
I've ideally I play this whole album passing off instruments, switching myself, and
That's crazy.
my DJ and the drums, and it's kind of a fun thing. And so I just knew live doing flicky bicky puff puff kicky back chill. Guess what? Guess what? I'm too high for this. One nigga pass a blood so I can cut. Like, it's going up. It's going up. People don't even gotta hear the rest of his verse. Like, it's up. It's done. So yeah, yeah. That was that for Mooney. But then I ended up opening my brain and was like, I needed N Dub on that Get Right,
Mhm.
because that was like already from a Barkeepers.
Oh shit, okay.
That was a Barkeepers beat. And I remember that N Dub one time, or like whatever N Dub does. So I was like, we got to get that on. And then that on Solu
Yeah.
would be like, when I remember hearing it on the Barkeepers, I was like, I need that. I know he's the
Mhm.
rapper. I know he's the best rapper, but if I could get that, and if I could make this thing happen, I need this to be a weed song. And I'm gonna have the song with an on solo singing melodic hook,
Yeah.
dog. And these things are cool to me. So whatever, fuck it. I'll never be able to perform that, or no time soon. Well, I'm sure I'll be performing that song with those two guys, but it
Yeah,
was worth
yeah.
it. And getting all the family on gumbo was worth it. It'd be a waste if I didn't. So
Yeah, yeah. And that's super dope too, man, because for a lot of those artists, maybe they don't see themselves making those kind of songs or appearing on those kind of beats. So for them to feature on that is like, it's this added layer of like, yo, this is my range is far beyond what you hear me do. My range is you can go over here and listen over here, and you can go over here and listen to this, because I'm not boxed in like that, and I could do all this other shit. And so that's really dope. It's almost like this, like, and I felt this listening to the whole album. Like, you put this whole thing together, and you could tell you almost like Quincy Jones this shit. Like, it just has these layers of different artists, different, again, man, like different sounds, the variety of sounds, the composition, the layering of it. The one thing is different from the next. Like, I remember when I was in radio school, actually back in the days, my audio production teacher used to tell us, he's like, when we're on air and we're going to a commercial, and when the commercial sets are happening, he's like, you want the next commercial to immediately hit with a sound that's going to make you forget about the last sound you just heard, because now you're here. Now you're in this moment, and when that moment ends, you're in the next moment. And that's how this album feels like to me. Is like, you're in that moment, all of a sudden it gets to the next song, you're just like, as great as that last thing was, I'm immersed in this fucking thing. And now I'm just riding in this little bit for the next 2.5-3 minutes. And then that goes to the next one, and it's like, oh shit, now I'm over here. And it literally is an experience, man. That's a great way to put that.
thanks, man. I'm glad it lands. That's all ever. Especially something that took essentially 2 years or whatever. Even though the real work all kind of came down to 8 months or whatever. But the only thing that matters to me is that, like, people understood what I was what I was doing, and I got so much of that. That's dope for me. I understand that it's not, the whole thing's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, because there's so
Mhm.
much different flavors of tea, like you said. So that's cool with me, as long as you understand what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to bring everybody to the party, both literally and figuratively. Like I'm trying to have a place where we can all be here and feel good together, you know.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Hopefully people yeah, that's dope that if that was transmuted, if I was able to that, you know.
Yeah. No, man, it landed. Definitely landed. I do want to talk about barkeepers because I feel like it would be a shame to not talk about that since we just mentioned a bunch of the dudes being on the album as well.
Whoa.
We're fresh off of 260 weeks, so 5 years. That's fucking crazy that this platform has existed. And I think if my math is correct, and if my memory is correct, you came in at 100 at the 101st week and took over. Because I remember the 100, like week 100, D-Cure was like, it's over after
That's right.
this week. And then the following week, there was nothing. And it was like this, I'll be honest, man, it was like this fucking empty void for me because like I was just loving the fact that this platform existed. Every Monday I can go hook up a beat, write a rhyme to it, drop a thing. And then I just didn't have it for that following week after week 100. And I was like, oh man, something's missing. And then it came back the week after. And I think that's when you officially took over. So I think if the math is right, you have actually personally been running it for like 3 of the 5 years, which is crazy to think about, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yep. And prior to that, you know, I was just enjoying and loving the place with everyone else. And I was doing the Sunday on Sunday show starting like week 70 something. But that was just me. That was just me doing what I do. But I wasn't like a judge. I wasn't like staff. I wasn't doing anything for D-Cure. You know, I was just doing that show on my own. Week 100 came, and I woke up to the same shit y'all woke up to. I had no idea that I saw that post, and I was like, word. Yeah. I mean, I hit him, and he told me what he was up, you know, kind of what it was. But boy, I got like maybe 30 DMs from barkeepers people, dog. And I was like, it was just people talking about like how much this means, and this is a part of my life, or like, this is my one break from the family, or this is the one thing I look forward to, or this keeps me sane when I'm working 50 hours, or what, like, and they all sent them to me because you know how D-Cure's kind of background. I think a lot of people thought I was running the shit because I was doing this weekly show that was kind of getting some pop at that point, you know. So I think a lot of people just thought I was like part of the brand or whatever. And so they all hit me. I hit D-Cure, and I didn't even have, like, I finished reading these DMs and I was like, yep, exactly how I feel. As touching as that was, I didn't even know half of these motherfuckers, half of their, you know, people gave me their whole lives, dog. Like,
bro.
It was wild. It blew my damn mind. And I was like, you know what? That's it. I hit Cure. And I was like, I had already talked to Cure about what happened and why. And I was like, I feel you, bro. It was a good run, but all good things must come. I'm starting to lose my sanity, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I feel you. I had to hit him back in an hour or something, like, what would it take for me to keep the machine running, you know, period. And my biggest thing was I knew that he knew my motor was enough to keep it running or whatever. But, you know, I was just like, I hope he trusts me with his baby, his creation or whatever. And he was like, no second thought. He was like, absolutely, here's dude. And so, yeah. That's what it's been, man. I started at 32, I believe. So
week
like
32?
3 months, like 3 months in, yeah.
Damn, you know what, man? That's fucking crazy because I think I started. So here's what's wild. During COVID, I was sitting around cleaning up because we ain't got you got time to do whatever. So I was cleaning up this desk that I'm sitting at right now, and I found this file folder that was like this big, and it was just filled with rhymes, like a lot of shit because it was like from years and years and years, just like accumulating in there. But I opened it up, and I was just like, man, what am I doing with all this shit? Like, it's just gonna go to the recycling bin one day. So I started doing this thing called Freestyle Friday, where I would pick something out of that bin and I would rap it a cappella. And I did that for the first like 5 weeks, and then all my homies started hitting me up, and they're like, yo man, you got to throw a beat behind that. And I was just like, a beat? I'm like, the intention was just to do it a cappella. I'm like, all right, let me try it with a beat. So then I did something with a beat, and then I did a freestyle one week, and then it turned into, fuck all these old rhymes, let me just start writing new rhymes. So I started writing a new. So I was basically doing, and I didn't know Barkeepers existed at this time, but on every Monday I would go seek out a beat. I would find a beat. I would start writing to it throughout the week, and then I would have to finish. Then I would record it. Then I would do all the editing, and then I would make a video. So I made a video every single week, and I would release it on Friday, and I called it Freestyle Friday. And I went for 52 straight weeks. So I went the entire year of finding a new beat, writing something new, recording it, making a video, putting it out. And in the midst
on your own schedule, not on
my own schedule.
No platform, you just decided to do this shit. I love it. I love it.
Which is at the same time I started doing these podcasts. I started doing basketball podcasts, and I started doing interviews and shit. And then then that kind of went on hold, and now I'm bringing it all back. But at week 32, and I remember this, I feel like that was the same week. So I found Barkeepers just randomly scrolling on Instagram one day, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? So then I kept dropping my Freestyle Friday, and I kept tagging the Barkeepers, because they're like, yo, if you can take our beat and tag the Barkeepers, and you'll be involved in this sort of community. So I was like, I'm going to do two birds of one stone. I'm going to keep building my platform and doing my thing. And let me see if I can reach into this community and make some connections or whatever. And week 32 was a Din beat. And I remember that beat came out, and I was just like, yo, this beat's crazy. And then who the fuck is this guy? And then find out Din and find all his music, and him as an MC too. And I was just like, yo, and that's when Show Rocka was still just an artist, just an MC on the platform. And I remember the first time I heard him, I messaged right away, on his video. I was like, who the fuck, this, you are professional. You are pro, you should be on Def Jam Pro. I was like, this guy's fucking amazing. So then immediately I was like, okay, I got to stick around in this community, because what's going to come out of this is I'm just going to get better being around these people that are so fucking good. And so that's how I joined. Then I was just like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this thing, because after my Freestyle Friday ended, I was like, I need something to keep going. I had this momentum and this juice. And so then I jumped on Barkeepers, and then I've been rocking ever since, basically, man.
Oh yeah, so we are the same week then. I was thinking I didn't think it was Dim, but I had it mixed up, because I kept thinking Doc Brass, but Doc Brass was week 1 of the Barkeepers.
Oh shit.
And Doc Brass is one of my favorite personal weeks that I did, but Din was the first one. Week 32 was the one and I'm technically over it. I came to the Barkeepers kind of because of Din. Because I was rocking with him at he had his own other platform called Beats for Bars.
Oh, I remember that. This
is the first thing that I ever rapped on Instagram, was on his Beats for Bars with Din and Aquaman. Vision. Or at that time it was Aquaman or whatever. But it was those two guys running this thing, and I was just so bored that I was like, I guess I'm going to rap on an Instagram contest or whatever the fuck this is. All right. And and then never looked back. I love it.
That's crazy, man.
Same time. So not same time. Your ass had a whole year worth of experience doing this shit then, by the time you pulled up or whatever.
I think, man, if I go back, it was parallel. I think the week 32 for what was week 32 of Barkeepers was week 33 of my Freestyle Friday.
Oh, so as you were doing it. Oh, yeah.
So it ended up becoming this thing where, and what's crazy was I think it was Chuck Brown was doing the reviews at that time, and I didn't know the reviews existed. And so one day I just happened to see that he's I saw the little icon or whatever on Instagram, and it's oh, Chuck's live. And I go on there, and I had dropped a song that week. And again, I'm doing my Freestyle Friday. So I'm making videos. I'm making and I'm going to say this, and I may be very wrong about this. So I don't want to get aggregated on this, but I feel like I was sort of unintentionally a part of the Barkeepers run while I was doing my Freestyle Friday, and I was the first one that started doing videos Like I was making videos as a part of my own thing, and as I was submitting it to the barkeepers, I was doing video. Everyone was just doing audio, and I had done this video for it was all around depression, and it was all around like all this stuff. And then Chuck was so fucking into it, and he played the whole song. Normally you just play the snippet. He played the whole song. He was so into it, and I tripped out because I'm like, yo, are they always doing these review shows? I'm like, have I been missing this the whole time? This is fucking great. Like, what the fuck is this? It was so dope because it was like
Chuck was rough, so it's dope.
Oh,
it felt good when he liked your shit. When he said some dope shit about my shit, it felt good. You know what I mean?
I know. And so there was weeks where I was like, yo, my shit wasn't as tight this week, so I'm like, I ain't gonna tune in because like I know he might rip the shit out. So I'm not gonna bother.
Could get rough.
Yeah, it was dope, man. It's such a cool platform, man. I think you like taking this thing from being an artist and a contributor to the platform to then, and I don't know if you've like, you know, again, man, going back to the opening of their conversation, like if you've sat down for a second to think about what you've created or what you've turned this into, like the evolution of Barkeepers from where it was, from what we're talking about when you joined it, to the fact that groups have formed out of this, to the fact that multiple artists have collaborated with each other on singles, on albums. And just, I would say like in the last like handful of months, whatever it might be, all the homies from Australia, and now they're jumping on, and then collab going back and forth. Like it's just fucking, it's all the collabs from all the Canadians. Just like the fact that it has grown as much as it has, but then also you've started, you know, with Sunday on Sunday, when you took it to Twitch, I feel like it went to another level. Like it was already its own animal on Instagram, but Twitch, it's like just kind of grown. Your visuals on Twitch, the way you've got like the soundboard where you got the like the pause police, all that shit. Like it's a show. Like it's an actual, like I feel like I'm watching like a fucking, like, you know, and I said this in a rhyme a long time ago that the internet is our generation's television. And like I feel like I'm watching a television show. Like I feel like I'm watching like some Much Music MTV shit from back in the days. Like, you know what I mean? You know, just like, damn, this is so dope, man. That's what this guy's done with it.
I love it, man. That's so dope. Yeah. Definitely just wanted to upgrade from Instagram because I knew that there was a world where audio and video was better, and that's, you know, I just care about that or whatever, and the rest we'll figure it out. But so yeah, it's been cool to get over there, and yeah, you know, it blows my mind every now and then. I do think about that show, and because like people send me videos of them watching in their living room, or you know, with their girl, or with their kids, or sitting in the whip, like watching on their little car thing or whatever. But on lunch break or whatever. It's like, I don't think about that enough. I don't think about the fact that literally someone is somewhere watching this grueling 3 to 5 hours of what the fuck. But no, I gotta remind myself that, like, when I do feel like it's just like a big slop of what the fuck, I do gotta remind myself to, like, damn, people like sit down and have watch parties and watch this, man. You know, and that blows my mind. And that's the most, like, yeah, that's super touching, I think, because it's just me sitting and talking about a bunch of shit on Insta, you know, a bunch of raps on Instagram, and yeah, I like that thing. I plan on continuing to make that doper. I'll learn some more shit. I can't help it. I like to make everything doper and do as much as I can, even though we only have 24 hours. But
no doubt. Yeah, it's, man, I wish I could get, I literally, at the time that the show was happening, I'm always doing my kids' bedtimes. And so I'm always trying to like tap in whenever I can. And my daughter, I'll always like, if it's like a time where they're still not asleep and you're just about to go over my thing, I'll try to plug in real quick and be like, oh, come check this out. And my daughter loves listening to it. And she's like, I really like that guy. I love watching that guy's reviews of your things. And I'm just like, what?
See, bro, yeah, I forget that like other people outside of the direct rappers that I know are watching this thing, like other people are seeing, like that blows my mind, bro.
Yeah, man.
That blows my mind that like your daughter all of our guys as kids seem to know about Sunday on Sunday. Always sending me the shit. I love it, yo. Yeah, but also it's very fulfilling to me though, as grueling as it is, and it's a shitty time. I understand Sunday night shitty. I don't know how, but I guess the Sunday on Sunday thing worked out. But anyways, I think it's also super fulfilling and important to me to have a place of long form entertainment, because I'm just kind of anti the ADD 3-second attention. It's kind of the birth of just everything plastic and untalented or whatever. So I love the fact that I have maybe an hour or two too long, but I like that I've a place of long form attention entertainment that anybody is willing to watch. That's dope to me.
Yeah, man. Everyone's got a vested interest too. I think like everyone is an artist that contributed something, and they're homies with other people that are on, so they want to see their shit. Maybe everyone doesn't get a chance to listen to everyone's verse, so it's like a first time experience for them too, where it's like, oh shit, I didn't know he dropped this week, like I can't wait to hear. And I feel that way too sometimes. I'll see, like when I saw like 2-3 weeks ago in Grantham out of nowhere, and I was just like, well, fuck, I haven't heard him in a minute, like I gotta tune into this shit. And it's like, even with Sunday on Sunday, man, like you're talking about how other people are sharing their experiences with you. Like that show spawned what Blonde Jew and Grantham, they had their show for a minute that was going on, and then now has spawned Blonde Jew's own show on Twitch as well that he does on Mondays. So it's like this thing that you started innocently enough of just like, yo, I just want to review the shit because this is what I'm into and this is what I like, has like it put the battery in other people's backs. You know what I'm saying?
It was actually even less intentional than that. It was I watch Chuck Brown every Sunday, Chuck's Corner. One week he announced he wasn't going to be able to do Chuck's Corner. I was like, I'll fill in. I know how to go live. I love this show. Like I'll take a run at it if you got to be out this week. Like, fuck it. He said, for sure, go for it. So I did it. I put up everyone's submissions and I ran it. The following week, I was like, so ready for you to be like, I missed your show, bro. Like, stoked for you to be back. He was like, you know what, dude? Life is getting crazy and it's getting hectic, and I think I'm out. If you want to take it, like, if you want to take it on if you want to keep taking it on, feel free. And I was like, I guess, that was not the plan. It was not the plan. I was just like, sick. I get to do sub in for Chuck's Corner one week, but then I think he liked the free Sunday night, and his daughter was getting busy and whatever. So I stumbled upon it.
Yeah,
and it's now become, it's become a part of my soul. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I wanted to ask this before I go into the last little segment here. I wanted to ask about the movie Beyond the Neon. How did you get involved in this? Have you acted before? Like, is this a thing you do on the side? Like, how did you come across this, man?
I've never had speaking roles. I've done a million background and extras and stuff like that. I was in the crowd of the main shooting scene at the concert and Straight Outta Compton and shit.
What?
If you get, I don't know. I've been in some dope shit, but all on some like background or whatever. I had a pretty sweet run doing extra in Darman videos. So every now and then, like random people will hit me up and be like, "Was that you?" But nothing serious. The only thing is like, even though I'm back in San Pedro in my hometown, like when I was living out there in the Valley in Studio City, everything costs more stuff. But the whole thing is that's that's the energy. Like that's the capital of entertainment, I think. You know what I mean? Probably of the whole country or whatever. And like when you go outside, if you know how to use the place, it's everything. You know,
Yeah.
I was ready when I would go across the street to Residuals Bar, where our friend Dreadful Operator always leaves my show. He's like, I'm gonna go do karaoke at Residuals.
Oh, shit.
But when I would walk across the street to Residuals Bar, like it's like I'm gonna chill and grab a drink, but also I know at any time like Mark Ruffalo could pull up and I'm gonna have a combo with him. I got to be ready for what this combo is gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was always ready at all times, and everything was like, you know, everything was action, and that was. I got the biggest gigs and acquired some of my coolest band members and stuff just from being ready and being real about what I'm talking, because 99% of the people is just talk. Oh, we gotta work. We'll work. Rah, rah, rah. I was about it, no matter the fuck what. And so there was a time that me and the homie Thesis and stuff, we had a residency at this place called Skinny's in North Hollywood every Thursday, and then eventually it was every Sunday. We'd run these nights, kill them. And Thesis had a studio that I started like going to and kind of working at and stuff like that. And one of his director, actor ass homies pulled up and was like, we need your studio for a scene. Sweet. And I was going to be there to kind of, I think Thesis was going to not be around. So I was like, I'll just be there to keep up with them or whatever. And yeah, then that day came and they were like, we need an, they realized they wanted an on camera engineer or something, like act like you're doing your shit. It's like, I'll do that. Fine. And then, well, that was like kind of in the week leading up to it. And then like right before it, they were like, actually, we think we have a role for you if you're down or something. So yeah, it just, and all of it, I was just like, yeah, I just learned to say yeah, and then to be like ready when it's game time or whatever. And that was it. So it was so random. And yeah, and then at that point we had a whole scene, you know, me at at my crib scene and the hotel scene, and then the studio scene where I'm rap, and then I'm in this, and then they're like, well, are you down to do a rap? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? And I didn't realize how random that would be in that movie until I actually saw, but it's, you know, it worked, but it's just like, so I'm like, hell yeah. And I think the dude in the script name was Omar, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what was your rap name? Or maybe, I don't remember who. I think I brought it up and I was like, is there any chance that I could be Sunday in the movie or whatever? Shit. And it was like, it's not even a deal, you know, like we're all homies or whatever. Like, let's go. And that was it. So then I got to be High Sunday and rap in the movie, you know, and you know, my first couple of SAG credits, which is dope.
Oh
too.
shit!
Yeah,
that's dope, man. You basically played yourself. You got paid to play yourself in a fucking movie. That's
yeah, bro. That's it. That's the extent of my shit, you know.
Did you know what it was about? Because this is a pretty dark movie.
Yeah. I knew what it was about. I got the whole gist and the whole script and stuff. I didn't know how my shit was gonna work.
Yeah, okay.
In the midst of this movie or whatever. Yeah. And so you know, I have been part of certain movies that I've had music in. I've had a couple movies come out where it worked out, but there's also been a couple movies where like I have my song in scenes and you get invited to the premiere and I bring my girl and stuff and the scene's cut, you know, fuck. And you don't know that until you hit the premiere. So I was ready for them to possibly be like, shit, this didn't make it, because this system, it felt like a weird thing. Like I didn't see how it would work, but but it damn worked. Because I mean, I knew though after we did it, I mean, these are the homies, and so like throughout the next few weeks or whatever, like they hit me up and let me come chill while they're editing and shit, you know. And so So it was, I mean, I knew it was straight by the, I didn't have to like sit and wait around on eggshells or hoping or wondering. Like I knew pretty quick that what they were doing, but when I first saw the scene, I was like, this ain't gonna make it. Hopefully they'll let me keep the footage or something, But yeah, it worked. Yeah, but yeah, the real deal though. I got to meet all those girls, like all the girls in that movie except for Marissa, except for like the main girl and obviously like her sister that gets kidnapped. And I think there's 3 main girls.
Mm-hmm.
Every other girl in that movie is a real survivor, and
Damn.
like that sanctuary in Vegas is a real sanctuary. People you don't get to know where that is, and they allowed us in there. And
Wow.
those girls who work there are real girls. Those are real stories. And so, they were like a couple of them were at the premiere and stuff. So it's real to me. And
That's heavy, man.
it's made me, not to get super weird, but it's made me like weird about strip clubs and
Yeah.
the industry and stuff. I used to date a stripper and stuff and didn't think twice or anything about it. But it was like the life's pretty fun, But yeah, I'm weird. I went to the homie whose birthday? Danny's, I think the homie's birthday, and we went to the strip club, and I was like, I didn't realize that like my life is changed now or whatever, dog. Like this is weird, but yeah.
You know, like preaching to motherfuckers in the corner. You're just like, yo, we can't be here, yo.
Bro, I just went outside and like hit the weed pen. Like this is so weird that it feels so weird, but it's real.
That's cool. That's wild, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know that back end of it, but that's like, that adds just such a different layer to the whole experience for you of sort of accidentally getting into this film and then being exposed to all this like realness is like, oh shit. Like I didn't wake up thinking this is going to happen, motherfucker.
Yeah. And it's just about being ready, bro. Like, and being willing and knowing to be ready. Cause like in my younger early eras, I feel like a lot of cool stuff came around too. But I think I was a lot more talk. So I was able to get into some doors, but I wasn't ready. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't ready to go and ready for the plan, the action, the post game, all that stuff. And this is it. And I stay in touch with these guys. Fernando, who shot this whole movie, now shoots for this company called Camo Wraps. And he got a budget from them to shoot, for me to be like their first music artist.
Yeah, best day ever, man.
And to shoot that video. That's the guy who shot Beyond the Neon. And you see Woodrow, my homie in that video, is one of the twins from one of the brothers from the Neon.
Oh shit. That was I had this written down because I wanted to say like for the best day ever video that came out, it's sponsored by the Camo Natural Leaf Wraps, and I was just like, yo, how the fuck does this guy get a sponsorship video? Like, so I'm curious. And now you just answered that question for me, but like, that's wild. Even the fact that like, to add, if we can touch just on the album one last time here, like with all of the dynamics of how dynamic that album is, to follow that up with a visual that's sponsored, I thought was like, that's mega shit, dude. That was fucking super dope, man.
Yeah. I have a probably dozen little vertical promo reel videos that I had been made for this thing. And then I felt weird that the world burnt. And I was like, it's not time to flood everyone with like reels about like, check out my album, dog. Like shit was fucking weird. But yeah, and then so that kind of all calmed down. I got a little bit busy and I was like, I'll just kind of put all of my eggs while I'm doing all this stuff. I started like hardcore trying out drummers and stuff for my show. Cause I'm like, this is how I'll breathe full life into the album anyways, is with these shows. So I don't know. My show's like almost ready by now. But as I've been doing that and the 3 other bands or whatever, but as I've been doing all that, this happened with Fernando and Camo. And so shit, that all kind of works all in unison because they still have like budget. They'd be down to throw like concert. Camel Raps throws this concert, or you know,
Yeah.
at first I know that homeboy was talking about like, oh, they should sponsor like you as a like for you to go open for someone, like they'll pay what it costs or whatever for you to get on a big ticket or whatever. But I'm like, whatever that budget is, I'll throw a show. I'll throw a show
Yeah,
with all
straight up.
our people. You know what I mean? And then that way we can prove to like venues that we could do it on our own. It'll become a camo series because it'll go
Yes.
well, you know, and instead of blowing a ticket on one show, getting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
open for some big name and like you know, that possibly ends there. Like I know having done, you know, whatever, however many, I wonder how many shows I've done. Well over 500 shows.
Damn.
It's like, you know, I think that venues have so much bullshit promoters and and
Oh,
people who don't
I've been
care
through.
about throwing a show. They're just like, "Do you have a venue? Cool." And
Mhm.
then it just ends up being garbage. I feel like I could throw a great show by now, and also multi-genre. And
Mhm.
I'm a hip hop head with a live band, so like it all kind of works. And yeah, I think that that's life. I think that, you know, my life, my meaning to life is being on damn stage. It's my favorite thing, you know. So I think that all of that will be a great culmination. It worked out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, live is something different, man. I haven't done a live show in a long time. The last time I did a live show was I was a chef for many years, and it was at the hotel I was working at, and they did a talent show, and
Oh, shit.
nobody
Did you
knew
fuck them up? Yeah, I was gonna say, did they?
nobody knew that I rapped at all. I was just like,
Oh, that
and
would
so
mess people
the
up
day
so bad.
the day of the show, they were doing a sound check in the afternoon, and they're like, "Yo, we need you to come do sound check." So I'm in my chef whites, and I'm on stage, fucking with the mic, and everyone that's in the room, like setting up, and just people walking through. A lot of people knew me. Like I just have a very like fucking loud, vibrant personality, and I was always doing. They choose certain chefs to do live stations. So like when we do big banquets, like I would be cooking in front of people and cooking for people and doing
Oh
live shit.
yeah,
And so
yes. You still you
I
got to
knew
put
like
on a
all the
show,
staff.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
knew all the staff and shit. Everyone's seeing me do the fucking sound check, and the whole room stops. Like everyone stops what they're doing, and they're just like staring at the stage. And then I just do like a 30-second sound check, tell the guy, I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, leave the levels at whatever they're at. This is perfect. And then I just go back in the kitchen, throw my hat on, and start working. And all these people crowd around, they're like, yo, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You rap?
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, how are we supposed to work after this, dog?
yeah,
What?
it was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that
Um,
would be so mind blowing. That's exciting.
It was wild. And then I
It's
won.
exciting.
So I won this shit. I tore it down, man. I fucking killed it. Because
Hell
I've
yeah.
done a lot of live performances too, and I had it all lined up, man. I had it all like pre fucking produced in like one wave file, and just had the guy press play, and then I had all of my segments worked out. I had all my in between things worked out, and I think it was
But
oh
you've
man,
never put this to test.
no,
You
I
had
just
all
like
kind of shit worked out, but this was gonna be your first time
first
performing
time.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Hell yeah, and you
for sure,
smoked
first
it.
time. And then I killed it, and it was so fun, man. But that was the last time I did something live. Like I would love to get, like in the city that I live now, man. There's lots of shit that happens live. I just don't have like part of it is a time, man. You know how like when you have kids and shit, like your time is limited. So I'm like, if I want to do it, like I love performing live, but I don't like just fucking grabbing the mic and saying shit. Like I want to put on a performance. Like I want to
Yeah.
interact with the audience. I want to have callback shit with the audience. I want to like, if you've ever, man, I don't know if you've ever been privileged enough to see KRS live, but KRS One live is the
Open for him
most. You did really?
at the Garden Amphitheater
Yo,
in front
that's
of
fucking
what,
crazy.
800 people or whatever. Yeah.
KRS is the greatest live performer in my opinion. Like he's fucking
Yep.
incredible. The way
That's
he
the
engages the
definition.
crowd,
Yeah.
man, he's something else, man. He's something else.
Yeah,
That's crazy. You open
I've
for him.
I've seen him in front of that, in front of sold out 800. Like it's amphitheater, so it looks nice. I've
Yeah.
also seen him in like super intimate Venice West. I think I have posted a piece of my show from Venice West, but Venice West is probably 150. it's probably like 100 people before like it becomes like the bar and stuff. So, but you know, the crowd
Yeah.
is probably only like 100 people. I've seen him do that. It's so cool to see how someone knows how to own the room, regardless. The fat
Shit, man.
amphitheater or the little intimate room and all that. Yeah, KRS is legit. Yeah, he's probably the best rapper live that I've seen. Him and probably Busta. Busta
Ooh,
always fucked me up. I've seen him twice, but I'm just like, that's
ooh, shit.
again, both of those people are just kind of people who know how to manipulate the energy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Can't help it. Attention and eyes are on them, and you're moving with however they say the energy's going, bro.
Oh,
Like,
man. Yo,
yeah,
100%. That's crazy, man. Yeah, I could go on. It sounds like we could go on for a very long time. But I do
yeah.
have,
My
I
bad.
do have,
I'm
no, man. I love
a
this shit, man.
babbler.
This is so genuine. Like we could do it, and just because we're doing this one doesn't mean we can't do another, because you're going to continue to have material that comes out that we can promote and we could talk about, and just music in general. We could talk
I
about,
love it,
and
man.
love having these conversations. We're nearing the end of this discussion, and I have a final segment that is on Studio Steve here that we are calling Still Figuring Out the Name of this segment.
I love
So
it.
once we have that name figured out, we will call it that. But for the moment,
Whatever.
it is called We're Still Figuring the Name of this segment out. So I have 5 final questions that I want to throw your way before we wrap up here. And the first one, and this is perfect because we talked so much about your like introduction to music and the various different things you've been a part of, whether it was bands, solo projects, etc. Do you remember what your first rapper name was?
Yeah. I guess it's a. Um, shit. I hope that. Actually, yeah, I've already shut that down. There's a couple of things where I'm like, I hope people don't look up old Ike. But it was Ike Diesel.
Oh, shit.
My name's Ike, and
Okay.
and Diesel is kind of funny because it had nothing to do with. It's actually my buddy Brent's Jewish mother, Schmikey. She would call me like Schmikey. She'd call me, and then he was always like a Jordan kid with us growing up. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about elementary and middle school. We grew up, and I was the Shaq kid, and Shaq
Oh,
was Shaq
shit.
Diesel. So she'd just be like, Schmike, Ike Diesel over here. And so legit, yeah, my first rap name came from a wonderful Jewish lady, and yeah, shout out Jody Weber, and that stayed until I was well into college, out of
Damn.
college. I came back to LA and started a crew called Infamous with my 2 homies, and then Infamous lasted until I was in the Valley, and yeah, and then High Sunday happened because kind of became like a whole different kind of band and a different entity. So and we got a little more serious, and someone at somewhere had taken Infamous like legally or something. So it's like I got to do something else.
And why
Yeah,
High Sunday? Like, where did that come from other than weed?
I've I've made up many a tale about it being the peak of the week, the time where you reflect upon the past week and you look forward to the ahead of the week, and the week being a metaphor of life. Bruh, it was me and the homies at the crib in North Hollywood, my band members and my partner Nick Fazikis, who I was rapping with, and we had wrote down a bunch of I think a few different people had lists of shit. It's like we were finna think about what my new brand is gonna be, and we went through a bunch of them, and nothing was nothing except High Sunday. It was like it sounds good, and we're high on a Sunday or whatever. Like it sounds good, and it did. Everything else had like a meaning, and it was like, well, this kind of relates to you. To talking to me, like this kind of relates to you, like this and this, and
Yeah.
God, ha 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 ha. Yeah, High Sunday felt like a thing, you know.
You guys
And
literally
then
did
I
like the name generator. You guys did the
tried,
physical name generator.
and then ultimately the least meaning one I think
Yeah.
just ended up being the most likable or whatever, man. And then I wouldn't know then from then on, like, 5 and 6 years on, like, shit, I'm Sunday. You know what I mean? I come back to people from Pedro, from who I grew up with here in San Pedro, come out to my shows and get weirded out because everyone's just like, yo, Sunday, Sunday this, Sunday that. You know what I mean? And when they're walking around and when they're like, yo, Ike, like, anyone who's met me in the last 6 years is like, who the fuck is Ike? It's funny. It's funny.
That's crazy, man. Second question: what is one of your?
I'm dragging your last segment, dog.
No, bro.
Question.
We keep going, man. Don't worry about that. What's one of your favorite albums that you can just hit play and let it run with no skips?
Which genre? Hip hop?
Doesn't matter. Anything, man. It could be fucking Mozart. It could be Miles Davis. It could be hip hop. It could be punk. Whatever. Just one of your favorite. Not like the favorite, because the favorite. It's impossible to pick one song, one album, one artist. Just one of those albums that you could just, maybe it hit you while you're growing up, and you're just like, man, I can hit play on this motherfucker and just let this shit run.
Yeah. I mean, one is impossible, like kind of impossible, but I think that it has to be something that also triggers the nostalgia and something that I know every single word to, and that probably goes back to like 1997 or something. It's probably. Damn. The thing is, I don't feel like, there's the stuff like Chronic and Doggy Style and stuff, which felt cool to listen to. I knew that it was great music and it was just amazing, but I wasn't gang banging and stuff and like taxing, smashing chicks and stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that about these guys either. It's just it's probably Bone Thugs East 1999, bro.
Ooh. I bought that shit on cassette for $11.99, man.
Yeah, it's probably that. That takes me to like just the most, like, remembering running the shit back a million times to learn every single word and kind of like making it a part of your soul and a part of your life. There's shit that has come since then, but I could probably listen to that at any time and just feel golden and just feel like this is like the birth of of me being like passionate about something or whatever. Then also there's just like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood, the album. Yeah. Listen to it anytime. Blues. He's magical. I think he's the best guitar player ever. And then Real Big Fish, Why Did They Rock So Hard?
Oh, nice.
It'll always make me feel good, and it takes me back to some trip. Yeah. Listening to it on the plane and listening to it the whole time while I'm out in Japan and stuff. And yeah, it was a good time. Has to be something I think that's connected to nostalgia in some way.
Yeah.
Those three.
100%. I love that, man. I love that Bone Thugs album. I love Bone Thugs. No one has ever been close. No one will ever be the same. No one can ever replicate their style. Just everything, man. Like, they are easily one of the most like forgotten about groups that people just seem to forget and don't talk about. You throw that album on, man, like just the variation of sounds they have on that, the production on that album was crazy. Busy Bones always just fucking wild, right? Crazy Bone always has the dopest. Crazy just has the craziest, like his lyrics. If you listen, and then you might have to go on Google and look at the lyrics, you'll be like, oh, that motherfucker said that shit. Like, he said that shit, man. And I love that.
Yeah, even that's what I think I like.
Creeping on a Come Up is a crazy album, man. Just like For the Love of Money, for the love of money, I could put on at any time in my life, and that song immediately just takes me to a place, man. I fucking love that song, man.
Yeah, that's probably the single most song that makes me feel that way, even though that's from the album before East 99.
Yeah,
I just feel like I still somehow spent more time with East 99.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that I liked it, man. I liked that those guys were, even though this is hip hop and this is rap, like this is a thing, they're doing something with it that I could never imagine. And it's very musical and it's
Totally.
hard, no pun intended, but it's harmonious and all this
Yeah,
kind of shit.
yeah,
Like I've always known that I've liked someone who tries a little, who tries to take it there, you know,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
guess.
Yeah, they're super
Yeah.
dope, man. Next question. Would you rather have a role? I guess you've already done this, but have a speaking role, like a legitimate character in a blockbuster movie, or be featured on a blockbuster song?
Hmm. Be featured on a song. I was trying to find any sort of compare. There's no comparison. I don't. I think that the no, man. Yeah, on the song, where I think that the movie would guarantee a little bit more uh guaranteed bag. I think, because I
Mm-hmm,
think I would
mm-hmm.
get paid out just for shooting it and then for the promo run, and then
Yeah,
after that. But there's more guaranteed bag, I'm sure. Probably takes a little more work, post work, for being on a blockbuster song to make sure it works out right. But that'll guarantee me some sweet shows. Being on a blockbuster song, you know,
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
play
yeah,
some big ass shows and get to perform that. So that's it. Anything that connects me to doper shows, I'm down with. Acting is not. I think acting is fun, and I want to do more. And I want to do more um, comedic stuff. You
yeah.
know, because people think that my stand-ups, people have laughed at my stand-up. I won't say that people think that it's funny, but I think that the character works, and the character is just me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't even work, so I want to do more. But that shit ain't fun. I got to shoot with the homies and spend like 4 days shooting with the homies and smoking on the side and like chilling and like
yeah, yeah.
kicking it with chicks and stuff. Like a regular shoot ain't like that, man. And I've
Yeah,
been
no
to,
doubt.
you know, even just being an extra, like it's long and boring and
Oh, yeah,
grueling and all this shit. Like, and I ain't, yeah, and I'll be stressed out to be the main dude in a blockbuster. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of act. That's like hardcore. Like, is my angle right? Is the light right and all that? Like, that's a lot of stress. Fuck
no
that.
doubt.
We're doing the song. My bad.
Yeah,
My bad. Easy answer. Again, I had to go in, but no.
yeah, that's dope. Well, you
Easy.
got to think these things. You got to think these things through, man. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely in the music. Like, not that the movie won't be forever, but the music for some reason to me like has is more like eternal than film could ever be, man. Like it can hit different people. It can capture a time period. It doesn't even have to. Like if you listen to Dre shit, like never mention dates, but it seems like it's forever, like it's timeless. Whereas if
Yeah.
you're in a movie, it might be a time period, and then that shit ain't, that shit ain't gonna fly 10 years later. You know what I mean? Maybe for whatever
For
reason.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. And music trend, like, yeah, music will like trend back, and oldies are cool. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
slowly oldies movies are gonna start losing the respect that we have for like classic and old movies.
yeah, yeah.
Like, don't try to show a 20-year-old like Goonies or whatever. They'll be like, get out of my face, old man. Like, it's wild, dog. Don't try to show someone Sandlot or like,
Yeah,
you
no
know,
shit.
nah, they're not playing with it. So I think respect for that stuff is gone.
No doubt.
So, but music probably will still have like resurges of people remembering that time and that song and kind of recircling that shit back around, like fashion.
Yeah, no
Not so
doubt. No
much,
doubt.
not so much with movies.
No doubt. Totally unrelated to anything. The next question: you get to have superpowers for 1 week, but you only get two options. You can either choose the ability to fly or the ability to shapeshift.
Is it weird that neither sounds appealing to me at all? Is that fucking weird? I thought, I was like, what a weird thought to have. That like, I was like, both of that shit sounds stressful, and I'm kind of cool where I'm at. Fly or shapeshift. I don't, I don't care about the shapeshift, even though I guess it's a cool concept. So I guess fly. I guess fly so I could go places. I do want to go places, but not enough time or money. So if I could fly, that would save time and money, I suppose.
Even fly up to the Golden Gate Bridge and blaze a doobie up there. Imagine how cool that shit would be, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There's some cool
like,
shit.
Where can I go burn? Where can I go fucking blaze a joint? It might be cool.
Oh yeah, on the top of any of the coolest shit. Yeah. Like that's way cooler. I don't see what the shapeshift would do for me unless I was like a weirdo. I immediately start thinking of like some weird or evil or criminal shit that you could do, I guess. But
The first thing that came into my head too. I'm like, would I just even fuck around and just show up to people's work and just start firing people for no reason?
Yeah.
Like, I know you've only been here a week. You gotta go, motherfucker. It's time to go. You know.
Yeah, you could make for some like entertaining stuff, I guess. But yeah, I don't need it. Flying, I guess, is cool. Yeah.
And finally, last one. Finish this sentence. If I could musically collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta. Unfortunately, that's not gonna be as deep of a dot. Like that's gotta be either. That's gotta be. Yeah, I mean that's gotta be. I'm trying to decide between the three guys.
Yeah.
But
who are the three guys? Let's just throw those names out.
Prince, Mike, and Jimmy.
Ooh.
I mean, that's whatever studio, an hour of the studio with them would be like doing ayahuasca or something. Like, it would just, my life is different.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard people have like cool times with Mike, but also I think that, maybe I would be sitting in there with Mike. Maybe it'd be weird. He's so just kind of like big and so different. It might be weird. I'm probably chilling with Jimmy to figure out how he paints, or Prince to experience the motor, like the.
Yeah.
It's probably Jimmy though. Even though Prince does more shit. I'd probably rather be in connection with Jimmy.
Yeah. And he's chilling. He's sitting around smoking weed and doing his thing and acid tabs in his fucking headband. You know what I mean? Like he's hanging out,
thinking of shit in the coolest, most beautiful ways possible. Like that's so cool to me. It's beyond. Yeah. I guess I'd want to work with James Marshall Hendrix, man. Yeah.
That shit would be amazing. Just to even be in the presence, man, of the musicianship of like what he does and how he created.
Yeah.
That would
like else. Prince would be stressful. He'd be like,
I think so. He's probably a perfectionist.
Wrong or some shit. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. This is a dream of mine. I feel like Prince would tell me I'm doing it wrong in my dream. And I think Mike, I'd just be so like flabbergasted and trying to figure out this like amazing being that I wouldn't be connected. I could probably connect with Jimmy. Yeah.
And Jimmy's got a band too, so you could fuck around and jump on the drums, or you could jump on a lead guitar or something. You know what I mean? The rhythm guitar or something like.
Yeah. We're having a blast, and I think that's what's up. I mean, this rap stuff, none of that. No, it'd have to be someone that would like change my life. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't even think like being featured on a song with M would like change the way I think. I just feel like I got the GOAT on a track, but I don't know if it would do much to the way that I think.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
That's dope,
Jimi
man. I love
Hendrix.
that. I love the answer, man. I love the thought process. I love that you actually take time to think these through and you don't just throw out like most people might just be like Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? And it's like that's cool, man. I've heard some
Nah,
horror stories of
I've
working with Dre. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he is the best, my favorite producer of all time.
yeah, easily. Me too. 100%.
Just because he's more of my time. You know, Quincy is up there. Like
Oh yeah,
Quincy's probably I consider the best, but Dre is my favorite.
yeah.
But yeah, I've heard people firsthand in the room with him. Like it's not a fun time.
No
You
doubt.
know,
Yeah,
like I heard that shit is perfectionist and stressful, and you're always just like, I hope he likes it, like he's okay with it. Like I don't want to, I don't necessarily want to work like that, man. Like that's crazy. That's wild. Yeah.
even if they put this for Snoop's last album, the Missionary album, which is fucking incredible.
Oh, it's so good. I like
I
when they
think
do what. Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite albums of all. I felt like it was like a greatest hits album almost for Snoop. It's just like of all the different genres that he's touched and the different type of music he's created was found
Yeah.
on that album, and they did it so clean and so fucking like disguised almost like it's in front of you, and you can like there's a song where I feel like they sampled Stakes is High from De La Soul, but you wouldn't know it unless you knew that one little sound. What song is it? In any case, man, that
I.
album's so fucking clean, man. And
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a 12-minute video that they put out of like him and Dre working on that. And this is Snoop, like somebody who's worked with Dre countless times, and Snoop, who's fucking Snoop Dogg, icon of the world. And in that little 12-minute video, there's times where he's doing a verse and Dre's just sitting there like, it's not it, man. It's not it. And I'm just like,
Yes.
if I was Snoop Dogg being Snoop Dogg and be like, who the fuck you telling me I ain't doing it right? Like, imagine who like me walking in the studio with Dre, he'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why Snoop like likes it, and that's why it worked. Like Dre's the only one who could treat Snoop like that. He's been treating him like that since he was 16 or whatever. You know, like he's been big broing him since he was a kid. But like Snoop must go into any studio and literally, he sounds good saying anything. He could say
Totally.
the first page of the dictionary and sound good.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everyone's just like, yeah, that's cool, and like no one will ever be like, try again. You know, like so
No
it
doubt.
must feel good to have a dude that you respect and being willing to come and do that. I think I heard Snoop talking like that. He was like, it feels good just to be like the artist and know someone's gonna take care of you or whatever, because I'm usually taking care of shit, or you know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
He
that's
did say
dope.
he likes being produced and all that shit. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could tell, man. It sounds like it. Like all of the vocal delivery, his like the various styles that he hit on, like it doesn't sound stretched or forced. You know what I mean? Like they just captured. Dre
it's him.
captures your goddamn sonics the way it is supposed to sound. However the hell he
Yes.
does it, man. And it's just like so fucking good. That album was amazing, man.
Yeah, real good, and a real good old guys album. Like
Yeah, no doubt.
it's a rough thing. Some old guys try to sound too young, or some old guys sound played the hell out,
Yeah,
you
straight
know,
up.
and some guy it's whatever. But it's beautiful when it's aged well. Nas can still make it sound
Mm-hmm.
fresh. Snoop and Dre clearly could still be
Yep.
fresh, and I actually haven't got to sit with that Slick Rick that
Oh
just came
man,
out.
yeah, I gotta check that out. I
I
gotta check
hope
that
that
out.
that's fresh. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You know they had to do that right. I mean, when's the last time you heard
Yeah,
Slick Rick's last album was like the art of storytelling? You know what I mean? That was like
yeah. I don't think they would let him play himself. It probably is pretty nice. It's
yeah,
probably pretty nice. They wouldn't let him play himself like this for no reason. Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. And the clip, and I haven't listened to the Clips joint.
yeah. Clips new shit
Someone
is coming
else.
out.
Oh, is that not out? I thought that came out today, Friday. No, it's not this week, Friday.
It might be out. I don't know if it's out yet. I've seen clips of like videos and shit online so far, so I don't know if it's out,
Yeah.
but I know it's like it's either out or it's coming out. Like it's right there in the cusp.
Yeah. That shit's gonna be dope. I like when Pharrell's in his streets hip hop
Yeah.
bag, and his
Yeah.
Clips bag is a
Yeah.
different bag.
It's a different bag with the Clips, man. 100%. That's some
Yep.
VA shit.
Malice is back. No Malice is back. Sounding good. Yeah.
Yep.
That's exciting. Hip hop is pretty exciting right now.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And speaking of that, man, hip hop is exciting. It's exciting with what's going on in the mainstream. It's exciting. The backdrop of what I have behind me here is the album cover for your album. Isn't everything amazing? The album is
Yes.
amazing. All the features are proven to be exactly where they need to be musically, sonically on that album. It is laid out amazingly. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. You can find it on SoundCloud. I think you teased a couple of the songs on your Instagram page as well.
Yep.
Where else
And
can
on
we find it? Where else can we find it on
all
all the
platforms,
all platforms? Okay.
Spotify and Apple, and
Yep.
it's on all those for sure. Everywhere you can check it out, it's there for
Yeah.
you. There's also just like be sure to check out the album because there's 2 other covers that I've remixed the cover for the 2 remixes or whatever.
Yeah.
So those are just kind of remixes I did for the song. Isn't everything amazing? But you'll find it. You
Yeah.
guys will find it. I have faith in you.
That's super dope, man. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you giving everyone time to listen to your stories, to kind of, and I feel like, I hope, anyways, we have uncovered some shit that people that know you didn't even know. And to definitely for my audience, for people who don't even know who you are, to tap into all of the different art that you're a part of, all the music you're a part of, and maybe even start checking out the barkeepers and things that you're actively involved with. So I think that this has been a fantastic conversation. I think we've covered a lot, and I would love to keep going. Not in this particular call, but on different ones, talking about different projects that you have. Because as you could tell with the introduction in the beginning, there's a whole lot of shit that you do. So it's hard to capture it all in one call. I think we did get a bunch of it today. I really appreciate that you took the time to jump on the show for Blessing Studio Steve here today. Thank you for that. I look forward to all the new stuff that you're working on and putting out, and continuing to be a part of the Barkeepers platform week to week to week.
Yo, man, thank you. Thanks for having me. Barkeepers will continue. It's part of my life. It doesn't feel like work. It's my favorite time of the week, the Sunday show, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time, on Twitch. Hi Sunday Please on Twitch. Yeah, we'll be here. Clearly you've seen that. We just crossed 5 years, and I have no plans of slowing down, so I'm here for that. Yeah, please check out the album. And anytime you want it, bro, you're a great combo. You're a great host. And
Appreciate that, bro.
yeah, and I don't remember necessarily what, but we talked about some stuff that I haven't talked about in what interviews or whatever you would say. So yeah, I think it was dope, man. Anytime. I appreciate you. Yeah. Tune in, man. You guys stay tuned in with Brown Steve. What do you call your show?
Studio Steve. So Studio
guest. Oh, it's called Studio Steve.
Yeah. So this is Studio Steve. Brown Steve is the MC name. So they all have different, same thing like you, man. I got different things going on. I got the basketball finals and the basketball that I've been doing the podcast on, covering each game. I've got some of more interviews lined up that I want to put into play as well. Hopefully I can get some more dudes from the Barkeepers. We got so many talented people within that community. So I'm looking to grow this. I'm looking to continue growing the music. So stay tuned, man, as you say.
Yeah. I'll let me know if I can help with, I mean, they're all your family too or whatever, but if you want me to, like, as a whole, I'm saying I'm sure you could reach out to whoever you want for interviews, but if you want me to, like, announce, like, hit Steve up if you're trying, or unless you don't want to get flooded, and you can just but whatever, however you want me to advertise or promote your show or invite people, I'm here to help for sure, because this is dope, man.
Dope, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So we're going to end the conversation there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Look forward to more stuff from myself from Sunday. And you can check out Sunday at the bottom. You can see the ticker here, and it's got all the different places you can catch up with all the stuff that he's working on. Thank you for tuning into Studio Steve. Your host, Stephen Samuel, here signing out, saying peace.